Welcome, everyone, to, if you're listening to this on the podcast, Saved by Mother Earth podcast, which will soon be changing its name to something along the lines of Insightful Adventuring to align well with the YouTube channel, which you might also be watching this on. As you can see, I am in the back of my truck and kind of just hanging out at the campsite I found recently on iOverlander in Idaho. And I wanted to come on today to talk to you about expectations when you are living your purpose. So a lot of times people might think, I'm living my purpose now, things should be so easy. And I'm here to tell you that you're going to be challenged no matter what you're doing, where you are in your life, and where you're going. That's part of what happens. That's part of your journey, is to be challenged. And so here I am living this life where I get to travel around the country and I'm being challenged left and right. And there was a point last week where I was just like, okay, universe, what are you trying to tell me? Because when I returned back home, as I was returning home, I heard the message, you don't belong there. And now that I'm out here, I'm finding struggles around, like, I've had this cough for a couple days, or things come up at campsites. And I know these are just challenges coming my way as part of my journey, part of lessons that I can learn. So when you're thinking about living your purpose and you're in this space where you're like, I'm living my purpose, this is great, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it doesn't mean it's always going to be easy. It doesn't mean things aren't going to come up that are going to challenge you and make you think, are you on the right path? That is part of the path. That is part of the creation and the things that are happening for you to come into your own, for you to make this your purpose, not somebody else's purpose. You might be going down a route because you saw somebody else did it and you're like, wow, that's great, I want to do that too. That's not what this is about. When you're living your purpose, it's your purpose. We were all brought on this earth, or in this lifetime, with an idea of something that's supposed to be for you. And so when you're going out and living your purpose, that means it's not going to be identical to anybody else out there, which means there's going to be challenges that you have to figure out your exact path. And it's in those moments of challenges that can help awaken you to what it could be for you. I'm going to say that again, what it could be for you. Sometimes we look at those challenges and we're like, why is everything against me? Why is everything going wrong? Why is this happening to me? And if you can switch it as, why is this happening for me? You can start looking at that as a idea of what is happening and why it's happening, and then where you should go from there. There's no question to me I'm supposed to be ending up in the South to figure out what's next for me. And when I say South, Southwest, like I'm itching to get to New Mexico and Arizona and those areas to figure out what my next steps are. I know I need to do some deeper work. I know I need to do more healing work around some things that I've been processing. That will be a continual journey. Something that I help my clients with, but also something that I'm going to continue on. Everybody in this life continues on this journey of learning and becoming who you are based off of the things that come your way. So you're never done healing or learning. You're just moving into the next phase of becoming that best version of yourself who is here to serve others and serve the planet and serve the universe, and ultimately help serve yourself to become who you feel so innerly connected with. As I dive into more of this work, I'm starting to see some things that I did as a child or a youth that I stopped doing. And I've been diving into that a little bit of what that could mean and how to work through that. And those are those challenges that come up along your way as you're going towards your purpose, is that you're going to come up with these things that come up back up and you're like, I thought I already dealt with that. And so it's this idea of going back and processing it and figuring out, what is it that I can do? How can I look at that with love and compassion? Because when you could start looking at something with love and compassion, you can really start to heal from it. And it doesn't mean forgiving somebody or letting somebody go that did something harmful to you. It might be forgiving yourself that it happened. But all of that is healing work and things to work through. So as you're going through this, as you journey on this this line of purpose, remember, you're going to get challenged. It doesn't mean you're not on the right track. I want to emphasize that. Just because you're challenged, when you get onto a certain path and you're challenged over and over and over again, you might start to question, is this right for me? And I want you to think about that. Those challenges are there to help support you as you go through this path of figuring it out. Because the interesting thing is, as you start journeying down this path, you're going to start questioning things more in depth because you're looking at them in a more sharp, focused lens. So you're opening up the lens on your camera of your eyes or your mind or your soul. I think it's the aperture, right? Where you're opening that up and making it so you're more like, you're letting more light come in, which means you're going to be seeing more things that might be challenging you, which is an interesting concept. Those challenges might have always been there, but you were in the midst of all this other stuff that you didn't see them. And now that you're aligned and you're going through life with more of a purpose, you might start to see these little things that pop up and you're like, oh, is that a challenge? Does that mean I'm not on the right path? Or is that something I can learn from? Everything's something you can learn from. But really looking at it in a way where you're questioning of, what is that telling me? What is that sign? Yesterday I met these two people that were camping next to me, and he was telling me how he was driving and this eagle came and flew right next to him as he drove. And the other person was asleep in the car and didn't see it. And it just flew right alongside. And after a couple minutes, it took off. Right? A sign, a signal for him. Something that he can dive into a little bit further. And that's the same thing with challenges. Right? Like, is there something going on with my throat chakra right now that I need to focus on? The fact that I've gotten a cough each time I've left home is very interesting to me. And I've been diving into it a little bit and searching for it and figuring out what it means. It could just mean that I got a cough both times, but it could also mean something more that I need to work on or process through. So yeah, I leave you with that. I hope this podcast episode was helpful and that you enjoyed listening to it. And until next time, have a great rest of your day.